So I wanted to share my acoustic guitar pedal board with everyone. And you don't see a whole lot of acoustic guitar pedal boards or rigs out there as much as you see, big electric guitar pedal boards with all the effects and the overdrives and all the rest. And I love that stuff. I have a board specifically for that when I'm playing electric, but I wanted to do more of a kind of minimalistic board for acoustic. So in this video, we're going to check out my board. We're going to go over, everything from what the board is to the power supply to a couple pedals that I have on there that are super powerful. I hope this helps you guys out whether you're playing at church or you're gigging live with an acoustic. There's some really powerful tools on here, so we're going to check that out here in this video. All right, so let's look at the underside of the board first. This is a Nano Plus from Pedal Train, and I just went with the Nano Plus just to give myself a little bit of extra room. The Nano is the smallest board that they offer from what I remember, so the Plus is just a step above, but it's just always nice to have a little bit of breathing room. You never know when you may need to add something on the board. It's also nice to have some extra area underneath for the cable management and all that in case you need to tuck some stuff away. So yeah, Nano Plus board, Pedal Train is solid stuff. So that's pretty industry standard there. But let's look on to the next piece of the board and arguably the most important here, and that's the power supply. This is the One Spot Pro CS6 from True Tone, and this is an isolated power supply. But what's cool about the CS6 is it's a low profile brick that you can mount underneath this board. As you can see, this one fits in the rails here underneath. And when you flip the board over, the board is still going to be flat on the ground. So whatever you do, get yourself a good power supply and some good patch cables for the board. You can try to save some money anywhere else, but if it comes down to it, I would get a good power supply and some good quality patch cables. That's about it for the underside. There's a couple, I got some command strip hooks here for some cable management, just to tuck some stuff underneath, but that's about it. So let's look at the top of the board. All right, so let's start over here first. This is the HX Stomp by Line 6. Now, I'm sure a lot of you guys know that this is their modeling unit based off the Helix. It has the same stuff in the Helix. The Helix is their flagship modeling unit, but the HX Stomp is just a little more compact. But this is an all-in-one unit essentially. So it has amps, virtual amps, cabs, IRs. There are tons of effects in here that sound really good. And I'm sure many of you are wondering, well, why do you need all that for acoustic guitar? And you don't need all of it, but I'm using more of the effects side for things just to enhance the acoustic sound. The other option is just to get, a few different separate pedals, and you could do that on a board, but I just wanted an all-in-one unit. So we're going to go through what I have on this acoustic patch here just to enhance the acoustic sound. So, and I'll just do a little bit of before and after, bypass the effects and all that for you too. So let's look at the first thing in the chain is the Studio Tube Pre. This just to add some warmth and just to overall warm up the sound of the acoustic a little bit. Gain I have at 4.1. The polarity's at normal. Low cut's at 60 hertz. High cut is off. The level's 7.5. And the sensitivity is for mic. That's about it on there. I don't think I changed much from the default settings, but for all of these too, if you guys have better patches or better things that you're using, better parameters, let me know in the comments, because I love to try different settings and stuff. So let's look at the next thing we got. So I've got a low and high shelf activated. The low gain's at negative 0.7 dB. Low frequency is at 210. High gain is additional 1.5 dB. The high frequency is set at 4.8, and the level is plus 1.5 dB. So that's just additional EQ that I'm adding there. Again, with the parametric EQ, low frequency is at 230. The low Q is 1.4. Low gain is at negative 0.8 dB. The mid frequency is 702. Mid Q is at 1. Mid gain is negative 4.8. High frequency is 1.8. High Q is 1.5. And high gain is negative 2.8 dB. Low cut is off. High cut is off, and it's even on the level there at the end. So I'm just adding. This is just all it's all minor. It's nothing drastic, but it's going to add to the overall EQ of the acoustic. This is a deluxe compressor here. I love having some compression on an acoustic just to balance things out. Whenever you're strumming hard at one point of the song, or you're doing some finger style, it evens everything out. So it's not like a drastic volume difference. This is the deluxe comp. The threshold is negative 42.5 dB. The ratio is 3-to-1. I got a quick attack, 3 milliseconds. Release is 200 milliseconds. The mix is at 35%. Levels is plus 3 dB. And the knee is plus 6 dB. And the last thing I really have is the Ganymede. That's a reverb, and I like to have a little bit of reverb on the acoustic, just to add some presence, some depth to the acoustic. Not a whole lot. You don't want to get too washy with the reverb. I tend to put more reverb on like an electric guitar or so, but this is just subtle. Decay is 3.5. The pre-delay is 21 milliseconds. The tone is at 5. Mod is at 6. And the mix, the main thing is the mix here. I only have it at 20%. So that's just going to keep it pretty subtle. And the level is default 0 dB, and no trails. Trails are off. So that's everything that I have, engaged always on the acoustic. The only other thing is I have a stereo delay here that's foot switchable. That's about it. Everything else stays on. So I'm going to go through and we'll start with everything off first, and then I'll start bringing effects in as we go. All right, so here's just the acoustic with nothing engaged on the HX Stomp. All right, we're going to bring in the studio preamp. Next, we're going to bring in the low and high shelf. Parametric EQ. Deluxe compressor. reverb. And last but certainly not least, we have the Atmosphere by Aerospace Audio. And I really enjoy using this. This thing is awesome. It's essentially an ambient pad generator. And I'm using it primarily for acoustic when I'm leading with an acoustic guitar for corporate worship at church. And it's just been really helpful with seamless transitions and whenever someone's speaking, whenever we're starting or ending a song. It's been helpful with all that. Some weeks we don't have a keyboard player, so again, it fills in those gaps as needed, but really cool. I don't have this currently hooked up to the HX Stomp, but you can run the Atmosphere through something like this, like via the effects loop if you wanted to. But just for more control, I have the Atmosphere going to a separate line, a separate channel at church whenever we're using this. But yeah, I'll cue up. This is what you heard. This is the same pad and the same key that you heard in the intro. So as you can hear, it fades in really nicely and you can fade out just like that. So different patches, this one is a little bit higher. It's got a different feel. You can go through your different keys here. And let's see, this one's a little bit lower in tonality. These are all hand built in America. The owner is constantly updating these, with firmware and stuff. It's really cool. And on the latest update, got a bunch of updates in this, including different tonalities for each key. So, for example, this was the D sharp tonal or key. We're in the key of D sharp here, but this is a neutral tonality. So we can switch it to major or minor here now. Really cool. Different banks with different patches. These are a lot more airy and got like more 3D sound to them. But yeah, I love this thing. You can even you can program it to a certain set list that you may have so that you don't have to keep scrolling through the different keys like that. But yeah, check it out. Atmosphere pedal. I hope this was helpful for everyone. I will have everything linked in the description box. If you guys have any questions or any suggestions, please let me know in the comments. As always, thank you so much for checking out the video. And until next time, we'll see you in the next one.